great father, but want to give thanks to the all great mother because she is the one that deals with all the creation in this day and time, and also through the all centuries from the beginning of time. Want to give thanks to the seven ancestral spirits of creation. Want to give thanks to the archangels, angels, and ancestors. And on that, I want to say Ashe, 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 Ashe. All right. So, what do y'all think? I'm gonna wait a little bit before I start this because I want to get my thoughts together. And I don't like getting caught up in these distractions, even down to the question that I asked. But I see where the narrative is going because a lot of people don't want to talk about spirituality, consciousness. They want to talk about things dealing with the emotions, what's going on today. So I'm going to let my mind just go ahead and get prepared to see what everybody would think, those that come on here, because I see that people deal with the emotions, and this time is dealing with the emotions because of how people are nowadays. Because a lot of people are still caught up in the 3D world. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people still caught up in the 3D world. You know, so let me see. When it comes down to it, I feel as though this whole thing is deeper than what it is. If you don't have a nationality, you're gonna fall into the matrix. That's only if you don't have a nationality. Can't say FBA, none of that. You have to claim back your nationality. All these so-called black Americans, you're not black Americans. You know what I'm saying? You're not foundational black Americans either. So my whole thing on this is that this is to prepare us to get back and claim what's ours. How you doing, LW? Grand rising to you. Um, my thing is everybody want to use the FBA thing, and I keep telling y'all in the court of law that does not stand. FBA is not recognized. Since Trump is doing what he's doing, he's now weeding out who's the real Americans. How you doing, Master Robert? Now he's weeding out on the stuff that he's doing that he want to do. Now that leaves people that call themselves FBAs wanting to find out their nationality. Many of you need to know that you are indigenous to this land. How you doing, Miss Amber? Is it Heavens or like Havens or how? I think it's Havens. Or yeah. Uh, is that Nicolay Lave? I think that's how you pronounce it. How y'all all doing? So, how I'm seeing it, I want to know what y'all think because I'm seeing how he is literally switching up. But I really want to tell everybody, the so-called Black Americans, though, you're not Black Americans. A lot of you are indigenous to this land. No problem. I'm doing great. A lot of you so-called Black Americans, a lot of you are already over here. Y'all actually indigenous to this land. And I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of people from overseas know this. A lot of people from overseas know that you were the original indigenous people. I really want y'all to know that. You got people coming out to the forefront like Dane Calloway and all of that, right? Now, another thing is this man is trying to deport American citizens when his family, as far as his children, or a lot of his wives, what's going on, Rashid? How you doing? Well, a lot of his wives or ex-wives or whatever are actually not from here. You know what I'm saying? They're immigrants too. So my thing is, how do y'all feel about him actually have the power to deport American citizens now? That's what I want to know what y'all think. Don't worry about what I think. This is an open forum for y'all, and I really want to see what y'all have to say. If seven y'all in here, we can get the likes up, and then at the same time, I want to know what y'all think. This is a think tank for y'all. I want to see how y'all feel about it. Don't go about what I feel. How do y'all feel about this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Because what it's doing is ruffling the feathers of the people, and it's pissing people off. You see what I'm saying? And now everybody that voted him in, they now regret that stuff. But see, I'm gonna tell you like this: in so many ways, we have to really come together and think about this. What is the real reason on him wanting to do that? Who is he trying to? I'm trying to make out. Who is he deporting from here that are actually Americans? That's a good question, right? So what do y'all feel is like? What do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about it? Don't worry about my synopsis or my thoughts or my intake on it. I want to know y'all's. Because in all actuality, the man is only going by what he was told to do. Y'all didn't listen. Those people that selected, I mean, those people that voted, you didn't select him. The electoral college did. The electoral college chose him to be the president. Anybody know about top politics and how it works? The electoral college have the power to bring in the next president. Point blank, period. So they say, oh, your vote count. Not necessarily true. Because at the end of the day, the electoral college have the power to do that. And you got to remember, this is the Roman Empire. It's still the Roman Empire. Okay, no promise. Miss, is it LW? Are you a sister or a man, woman? I don't want to be disrespectful. You understand? Because it's like, I'm about to say sister or whatever. I didn't want to feel like I was being disrespectful, but I really want y'all to think about it. Who is he trying to weed out? Who is he really trying to weed out? But this is the time for so-called Black Americans to claim back their nationality. Y'all need to look at all the so-called Black Americans, even down to the so-called FBAs. Look up the Dawes rolls. Okay, cool. All right, sister. So look up the Dawes rolls. DAWESROLLS. Many of you need to understand that you are indigenous and your family were indigenous, and what happened in order for the so-called natives to get the funding that they're getting, they had to eliminate the black people too, the so-called black Indians or Native Americans. Now, those that are already who family members migrated over here, and you've been here all your life, right? You're considered American, but whatever your nationality is, that's what makes you that particular American. Like you could be Italian American, Irish American, or whatever. At the end of it, you still have the word American, but they're trying to find out and weed out those that are sleeper cells. Just being honest. They're trying to find out the sleeper cells and who are considered terrorists too. That's what they're also trying to do. The reason why they're doing that. There's always an agenda and there's always something that's taking place. Period. You got to remember when Bush Jr. came in office, he did the Patriot Act, so they can home in on your conversations and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about all of that. All of this stuff was already already predated, already been thought out, all of it. So I really want people to really start thinking with their third eye, or also their mind's eye. It's deeper than what people think it is. Everything already been mapped out. Everything already been planned out. They did this to bring forth not just distractions, but an uproar. An uproar to bring forth what they keep on saying, martial law. But I got a news flash for everybody. We already been under martial law. Already been under martial law. Why do you think the U.S. by itself is a police state? It's already a police state. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that you can't do without seeing police on the corner. And it's not just in so-called black communities. It's in so many other communities. You know what I'm saying? That is a part of this plan. Everything been strategically done. Everything been an illusion, and this is what he's doing. He's letting you know that you already been under watch. The war already been on the American people from day one. The real American people in the Black Laws Dictionary. In the Black Laws Dictionary, I want to say edition 4. The word American means copper colored. I keep on telling everybody the word American means copper colored. Many of so-called black people, families came from out of Louisiana, and also the Mississippi, and also a lot of them are connected to the Haitian people. Because if you look at the people that celebrate Carnival, they have feathers and so on. That also shows the connection to certain African nations. Like, this is a real big deal because now you got to really start learning etymology. You got to start studying law. When you start studying law of the land, then you're going to start realizing that these people are not just going by law, but they're going by the ways of etymology, the studies of words. So when you start saying American, you're talking about the copper colored people, right? Those that came, who relatives, ancestors came on here as migrants, you are considered not the real Americans, but you are what you call a migrant American. That's what I would say. And you've been here all your life. But the real Americans are the copper colored people. So you got to start asking questions. What's really going on here? Quite simple. The man is literally playing both sides. The man is also a Gemini. So, like Dick Gregory said years ago, there's two Trumps. Those that are Gemini know exactly what I'm talking about. Those that are Geminis. Those that are Geminis know exactly what I'm talking about. When you have in the twin sign. So the man is playing both sides, right? And another thing is, if you look carefully, how this whole thing is going into full effect. It is also turning and destroying the economy as we know it to bring forth another economic transition to something that's dealing or pertaining to certain things of precious metals. That's another thing that's going on. And that's another reason why he's doing what he's doing, because he feel like I want the real American people to do that too. There's an agenda on all of this. But when you're playing both sides of the field, you have to know the laws. And that's why I keep on telling everybody, you got to know the laws of the land. You got to know the laws of the land. I stand in front of you as a Moorish American. I know who I am. I study under Joe Bratton Bay and Temple 13, and this is what they're doing. They are playing a synopsis to all this. They're playing not synopsis, a psyop to all of this. They're playing with you. They want you to go ahead and do this research on what real Americans are. I'm not here to put false information. I tell anybody, think for yourself, look it up. Don't believe me, look it up. Black Laws Dictionary, edition 4. Okay? And then Donald Trump is a high-ranked Freemason. He's a high-ranked 33rd Freemason and all of that. So he know who you are as far as the real Americans. Real talk. Okay? So, therefore, you got to start studying the etymology. You got to start studying the words. You know what I mean? And I really want y'all to understand that these people are playing word play with you. Because the original republic, know it or not, were established by the people that was already over here. Real for real. It was already established over here before the colonizers came. There were already kingdoms over here before the colonizers came. There's a documented fact that George Washington had to get the okay from the Sultan. He had to get the okay by the Sultan. And then when Obama was in office, there's a video leaking with him saying that he had to thank Morocco for recognizing the U.S. as a nation first. This is all documented facts. There's a video lurking with Obama saying that. But they didn't play it over here in the U.S. They played it over there in Morocco. I'm just saying. So they have a pledge of allegiance to the real republic. The real republic are the people that were already over here. And they're not going to tell you that. So right now they're playing this mind game, and that's what Trump is doing, playing these mind games. But this is where you have to buckle down and start studying the laws, the 14th Amendment, all of that. People don't know that the 14th Amendment really deals with the woman. And I got that information from a sister named Miss. I got that information from my sister on Instagram, no, on TikTok named Miss Nebraska. She broke all that down, and Miss Nebraska broke down how so-called African Americans are connected to Haiti because of the Louisiana connection. She broke all that down and broke it down in law. I recommend y'all look her up, Miss Nebraska, beautiful sister. Um, so therefore, my whole thought process, which was y'all, what do y'all really think? Because this guy really is playing both sides, and the controversy is also another form of distractions. You get what I'm saying? But by you not knowing the laws of the land, what else can be said? You don't know the laws of the land, then what's going to happen? You're going to be manipulated. You're going to be lied to. You're going to be falling for the sinkhole per se. And people going to keep on getting upset. But you getting upset is not going to do nothing. Let me tell you something. The protesting is not going to do nothing. Everything is already written. Those that are going to be deported are going to get deported because first and foremost, you don't have a nationality to claim. You don't have a nationality to claim. If you're not indigenous to this land by law, by law, you got to go. I'm telling you how it's going to go. Let me tell you, that's why I said look up the dolls rolls and all of that because this is real valuable information that you got to really start looking into. And see, I'm not the only person saying this. That you so-called calling yourself foundational Black Americans, how you really are indigenous. Matter of fact, my wife said that. She even said it, and she said it real clearly. She like a lot of black people over here don't realize they're indigenous to this land. And she said that's been documented. And what they did, they have it in the Constitution somewhere in D.C. They have some sort. I think it's two constitutions, if I'm not mistaken. Something in D.C. that they're hiding from so-called black people. And it's crazy because a lot of people from overseas know about this. You got people in Britain that know that the so-called black man and woman over here are really the original Americans. I told y'all before, look up Mansa Musa. And my thoughts are you got to know the etymology. You got to know the laws. You got to know all of this stuff. They play with you with words. Then that they playing with you with words, they'll start making up different laws that don't even exist. This is where they get all the American people with the laws. They play games with the laws, y'all. They use the etymologies and everything. Let me tell you, everybody keep on saying white. White is a status, not a color of a people. That's what white is. Why do you think a lot of immigrants, when they come over here, they label themselves as white? It's a status. They don't label them black, they label them white. It's a status. These are the different mind games that's being done in the US. This is the different strategic ways that they try to do by manipulating what? The people. I'm telling you from the standpoint of studying and realizing this. Because my grand sheik, he received a letter from Donald Trump. And he recognized the temple that I'm connected to. And my grand sheik said, you don't have to worry about it, Mo. You good. Because I'm a part of my nationality. Because I told y'all that in a video, a song by Stevie Wonder called Misrepresented People. Stevie Wonder in the song Misrepresented People gave you the history of the Moors that was already over here. He said in 1492 you came upon these shores and you came across the Moors. I'm just paraphrasing it. I'm not telling you to go into no temple. I'm telling you who you really are. There's an elder named Ron March. He even said that the black people over here in the U.S. were called Moors. Moors. And this land was called Turtle Island, right? California was named after Queen Khalifa. There was an empress over here that passed away 2016 who was the empress of the Washita, who at one point in time owned the whole United States until they took a lot of the land from her. She owned land from the United States all the way to Canada. A so-called black woman did. And what happened, they killed her, they did something to her husband, and then after a while, they started going after her and her tribe. Documented stuff that's factual. There's a book that's written by her called what is called the Return of the Ancient Ones. And her name is Verda Des. I'm just guessing of some of her name. Verna I think is Gaston Turner L. Bay. That book talked about the illegal purchase of Louisiana. Then at the same time, to go into the TikTok videos of the sister Miss Nebraska and start connecting the dots there. So therefore, I did this live not to just get people not to get only people's thoughts, but I'm also sharing some stuff with you that you can look up yourself and you can purchase the book and start doing your own research. All I'm on here is to point the direction. Listen, at the end of the day, don't get caught up in the distraction and the emotions. Don't be going out there protesting because it's not for him to do this. He finally got the power to do that thanks to the Supreme Court. So now you got to start learning laws of the land. Start really studying the laws. It is not hard to start studying the laws, but it's going to take patience. And I'm not talking to just people that look like me. I'm talking to people that look like from all nations. You need to start studying these laws. You got to start knowing your rights. But when it comes down to it, the melanated people of this country, you need to know your rights and your law and the laws of the land because this is your land by birthright. Like my wife told me last night, she said there's still gold mines over here. I'm like, huh? And she was educating me. She was like, yeah, there's still gold mines over here. You know what I did? I looked it up online. She was right. There's still gold mines over here. There's gold mines in Montana and many other locations that they open up to the public for free so you can start mining for gold. Just saying. And the connection between Louisiana and Haiti, that's true because the simple fact is the U.S. has one of the largest embassies over there in Haiti. Why? Because they're sitting on resources. The Taino people are really the people over there in Haiti, and they connect to us over here because all of us are indigenous. This is facts. That's why I look up the system. That's why I said look at all of that. I actually push the women to listen to her too because she started talking about real stuff that deal with law. And a lot of us don't want to study law because why? Let's just face it. A lot of us don't want to read. A lot of us don't want to read and pick up a daggone book, but we're quick to watch some bull crap dealing with some ignorant and ratchetness and BS because we're at a low vibrational state. Many of us. You had to watch violence and somebody getting popped and all this other stuff, booty clapping and all. That's low vibrational. And then when stuff hit the fan, when you get caught up in the police department and all that other stuff, you get deported by ICE and all that. Guess what? You didn't study the laws. And I'm talking about the melanated people that's indigenous over here. Look up the Dawes Roads. Look up the Dawes Roads. That was in the Hidden Colors DVD by Tariq Nasheed. That was in that talking about the Dolls Rose. He talked about it all the time. The Dolls Rose. Ask questions about the Dolls Rose. That's when they did all of that stuff. You got Asita Ducatillas talking about this stuff. Asita Ducatillas be featured been interviewed by Dr. Kia Pruitt. Dr. Kia Pruitt tell you that the real American people are the copper colored people of this country. She has more intel about really what's going on in the daggone administration and letting you know what's happening. And she's letting you know that this whole thing is actually weeding out who claim to be Americans and who also are sleeper cells too. Many of you are sleep. Some people are sleeper cells and don't even realize it. I'm telling you, there's some stuff going on that they're not telling you. That they got to keep it hush. Point blank. Period. They're keeping everything on a hush because the simple fact is there's warfare going on, and it's not just spiritual. It's dealing with bloodlines. Everything is dealing with the bloodlines, y'all. I've been saying this when I was on an old channel featured on there, along with many other brothers. We've been saying it's dealing with the bloodlines. The bloodlines of who? The bloodlines of the original people that was in this country that's connected to the 7 original tribes in what you call Africa, which is the one of the older names is called what? Sudan, and it's called many other names. And also, there's an empress that was in exile in the West Indies named Sheba the Third, who's still alive today, and she did an interview like 12, 13 years ago and said the kingdom of Africa is from over there to India to the Americas, which also means the West Indies is a part of Africa too. You got to go back into Pangea and all this. All that stuff is dealing with the laws. And see, I hate to talk about all this because I want to really talk about what I want to talk about, but I want to give y'all the floor. But I feel as though that y'all need to understand what's really going on. It's about weeding out everything that is not good for the real American people, and at the same time finding out that there's actually other stuff going on that they're not talking about in the news media that is still controlled by elitists, and they're only putting out stuff that they want you to hear, not what you need to hear. Not all news is bad, and they always is always being done. It's being done with etymology and other things. There's so many things I can't really say on here. That's why I'm talking like how I'm talking like it's like I'm talking in circles, and I'm repeating the same thing for a reason. I'm repeating the same thing for a reason. You need to study the laws. Study them. Every state is a territory. Every state is a territory. That is why you have governors, senators. Every state is a territory. Okay, y'all heard about the Real ID Act. The Real ID Act. You have to whatever state you're in, you have to have a star on your ID in order for you to travel. Statewide, worldwide. The last day was yesterday. You have to have a star on your ID driver's license for you to travel out of your state and to come back in your state. This is also a part of what he's doing. That's already been approved. The last day was yesterday. So those that like to travel and you like to travel overseas, you better make sure that your daggone ID, driver's license, whatever, has that star on there, whatever state you living at. See, nobody not talking about this like that, except for a few others. See, you need to know what's really going on in this country. And I think is connected to what they're trying to push. And I ain't going to say too much on here, as much as I want to. The last stream I did was on StreamYard, and I put my email. I put my email in the chat, and I said to everybody that was watching, I said, "Yo, I answer my email all the time. I can send you information and I can tell you what books to pick up and start reading for yourself to see what's really going on. Um, I even have a mentor that I'm gonna see if he can come on my channel that know more about the laws than I do. That's been around this stuff for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So y'all need to prepare yourselves. Please study the laws of the land and study etymology. Study etymology because I'm telling you, they use words like weapons. I'm so serious, y'all, because it's so much I really want to say, but I can't say on here because it's like I really want people to really start waking up and stop with the madness now. These people are not playing. What's going to happen? Some of you going to probably get caught up with people that could be sleeper cells, and you could be dating them, it could be your husband and your wife, whatever. Just saying, you know what I'm saying? That's stuff that's really going on. This is this is this is like dealing with silent weapons dealing with silent weapons dealing with silent weapons for silent wars. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, none of that stuff. But dude, that really are the true people that own this land. That's trademark for food, chicken and beef. Found the video on it, and as much as they keep on labeling you FBA, they can't keep on calling made that up, and black can call y'all that. Now you got the word FBA. Don't you know that African American is similar to saying Black American? The word black, y'all know. Those that are melanin, I want to let y'all know. I also want to educate y'all, let y'all know what's up. But at the same time, I really want y'all to give me y'all out, y'all.